thanks for inviting me. So I'm Josh Bonkowsky, and I'm a pediatric neurologist at the University of Utah, and the hospital here is Primary Children's Hospital. It's in Salt Lake City, Utah, which is in a region called the Intermountain West. And so it's the only children's hospital for a long way around. So because of that, even though, as you're aware, the West is less densely populated than many regions of the country, we end up caring for a what's called a pediatric catchment area of about 1.5 million children. So it's a really large pediatric population that comes to us for care. And then it's a geographical area of about 400,000 square miles. So that's about the area of Germany plus France combined. So it's a really big geographic area. We have kind of a full leukodystrophy clinic here with support from the LCN that's been really helpful for having a coordinator, Emily Hardy, that many of you guys know. And then we also have kind of a full gamut of services ranging from clinical trials like in gene therapy and basic science research to kind of standard clinical care and transplant. And so we've also recently, like everybody else here, moved to more telehealth, which has been a big boon for patients who live far away. It's saving, 8 or 12-hour drives for a lot of people. And so we're excited to be part of this group and to be working with everybody here.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Bonkowsky. Up next, we have Dr. Ali Fatemi from Kennedy Krieger.
Yeah. Hi. I guess the Moja Center is probably very similar in structure as what Josh just mentioned. So, it has a clinical program and a research program. The clinical program, we have now a few new members actually. So we have the neurology team is me and Dr. Amina Smith, who's online here as well. She was a former NDD trainee who's now a faculty member, focusing on motor measures in terms of her research, but she's a neurologist as well, a neurodevelopmental trained pediatrician. We have 2 physical therapists, Chris Joseph and Jen Keller. I think they have attended this conference before. 2 physiatrists, Dr. Ye and Dr. Trovato, who also have participated here before. Currently 1 social worker, Kylie Morgan, who was again at this conference, a genetic counselor, Julie Cohen, and we have a palliative care person who's about to retire, Dr. Hutton, so we're getting a new one. And we have affiliated endocrinologist, 1 new person who's really a world expert in adrenal disease, which is important in ALD, obviously, Dr. Hamrahian. And we have a pain neurologist who's affiliated with us for those with pretty painful peripheral neuropathies that we refer patients to him specifically for that indication, helping us with the management of pain and neuropathy. And then the research arm has labs and we do clinical trials. Most of it is happening right now in ALD. We also have a program recently on LBSL, which is a very rare leukodystrophy. Important to mention, obviously, the 2 people who really hold this together, this entire clinic, are Kim Hollingsworth, who's here and is our nurse, and then nurse coordinator, and then Connor, who's our clinic coordinator. They have 2 jobs. They keep the clinic operations, and then also they have to keep me in check, which is much harder. So I think I'm just gonna stop there.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fatemi. Next on my list is Dr. Joanne Kurtzberg from Duke.
Hi, everybody. I think you're all pretty familiar with Duke, but we really started our work with families and children with leukodystrophy through our transplant program, but we've expanded that footprint using other resources also available at Duke. Tara West, who's on, is our coordinator for this and nurse practitioner in the program. But we have a full complement of support individuals, both for social work, child life, play therapy, financial assistance, and a family support program that can help families that are coming from a long distance and need extra resources to get here. Also, our collaborators beyond the transplant program include our pediatric neurologists. That group is run by Dr. Mohammed Catie. Our genetics and metabolism group run by Priya Kishnani. And we have a new head of rehab for pediatrics at Duke who really has brought some novel rehab approaches to our medical center. And his name is Christopher Lunsford. But basically, even though we originate from the transplant program, we take care of families who do or do not come for transplant, and we enable families to get access to whatever therapy is best for their child. And although we're in North Carolina, we really take care of families all over the world in many different ways. And we're happy to be part of the LCN. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kurtzberg. We're happy to have you as part of the LCN. Okay, up next I have Catie Becker, who is speaking on behalf of Mass Gen since Dr. Eichler is in Austria.
Okay, so I was an overachiever, so I have slides. Plus that way I won't forget. And Dr. Eichler could therefore approve what I say. Hopefully they're gonna work because we have quite a few people. So here's our team. And the ones I wanted to draw special attention to is, so we're happy that Dr. Wishart has joined us, which has allowed us to have a physiatrist in clinic, which is great. Dr. Halper has recently joined us as our new endocrinologist. And then we finally have a genetic counselor, which is great, who's in clinic with us every week as well. And then of course we have our transplant program that's still going. And so we transplant adults and children. We have weekly clinics every Wednesday in normal times. And then we have now, of course, our virtual clinics where I think we try to compete with each other on best background. This is just to give you a sense of the types of patients we see. So you can see there are a large number of leukodystrophies. Certainly the bulk are ALD patients, adults, children, and most recently women. We're trying to see many, many more women than we have historically. This was just to show you kind of the growth, and I think a lot of that is from these LCN meetings. We always seem to have a growth of new patients after these. And then just to point out that it's, unlike some of the centers, we're about 50-50 almost for kids and adults. This is a list of the active sponsored trials that are going on. And including ones that are kind of in getting ready to start up. So the Canavan natural history study started right before the pandemic, but we're hoping for the gene therapy for that and Tay-Sachs to come online soon. And then this is the basic science research that's going on. And then finally, how to get in touch with us. And Renee is who you would want to be contacting.
That's great. Thank you so much, Catie. Next is Dr. Jen Rubin.
Hi, perfect. I'll try to share my screen too if I can. Oh, maybe not. No, never mind. I'll just talk. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can.
Perfect. So we'll move right along. So I'm in Chicago at Lurie Children's Hospital in Chicago. It's the Children's Hospital affiliated with Northwestern. So we moved in 2012. We built a brand new children's hospital located on the campus of Northwestern. So it's nice because we are adjacent to the Northwestern Hospital and the Prentice Women's Hospital. We're also close to the new Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, which is the Rehabilitation Institute of Chicago's new rehab center. In our team is myself. I'm the clinic coordinator along with Dr. Burton, who's a medical geneticist. Our care coordinator is a genetic counselor, Rachel Hickey. We have new nursing support and social work support too. Sue Shim is at the conference too. And an important integral part of our team is we have 2 palliative care providers. We have the the division head of the palliative care department, Dr. Alicia Waldman, and Jennifer Mayer both come to our clinics and meet all our patients early in their care course. We're modeling our multidisciplinary clinics similar to some of the cystic fibrosis clinics where they've determined that early palliative care and getting to know the families and meet them early in their disease course is really beneficial. Our clinic started in 2016 where it was a half-day clinic every other month, and now it's a full-day clinic once a month. And we're identifying a lot of babies starting in Illinois. The Krabbe and adrenoleukodystrophy is recently on the newborn state screen, so we're identifying patients that way. And we have clinical trials open, including the late infantile metachromatic leukodystrophy trial, and we're a member of the Duke's infantile Krabbe disease through the newborn screen. That's our center here in Chicago.
Great, Dr. Rubin. Thank you so much. Okay, next I have Dr. Eric Mallack from New York.
Hi, everybody. I'm trying to share my screen here as well. My name is Eric Mallack. I'm one of the neurologists at Weill Cornell, where we have our newly minted leukodystrophy center. 1 second here. I'm just going to share our website. Can everyone see? Yeah. So we're one of the newer centers with Hunter's Hope. A few highlights about our leukodystrophy center. We, like everyone else, a lot of people on the call, have a multidisciplinary care team where we see both pediatric patients and we also see adult patients with a leukodystrophy. Our team is listed here. I can kind of go through people as we move along, but we do a couple of things, I think, pretty well. We've established working groups and collaborations with advocacy here in New York City, with the Aiden Jack Seeger Foundation and the New York State Newborn Screening Lab. Weill Cornell is part of New York Presbyterian's hospital system, and our sister hospital is Columbia, which is uptown, and the newborn screening program that's run there is run by Dr. Iglesias, with whom we have a very close working relationship. We take care of our patients at NYP and the clinic at Cornell. And then we have a joint metabolic transplant program with Memorial Sloan Kettering. So you'll see myself, Dr. Palagranis, Dr. Florence, Dr. Cancio, and Dr. Kaku here. We're all joint faculty both at Cornell and MSK, where we will pick our patients for transplant if needed, and then we'll hopefully implementing as they come online, gene therapy solutions for the leukodystrophies to serve our patients here in the New York City and tri-state area. We do a couple of other things. We do have an active clinical trial right now for intracerebral gene therapy for MPS IIIA, which I'm a site PI. And then we have a research arm, like many of the centers. Our strengths in research really center around neurogenetics and advanced sequencing. So we see a lot of undiagnosed neurogenetic disorders, which we work to diagnose through whole genome sequencing and functional studies at the bench. And then I have my own personal research program where I work on disease natural history and advanced neuroimaging in adrenoleukodystrophy, which I plan to then cross over into the other leukodystrophies as our techniques are developed. So thank you for the opportunity to share. And I'll just go through really quickly to the rest of our team. We have the neuroimaging group, our care coordinator, our genetic counselor, Shanila Lakani, who wears two hats. She works in our program and the neurogenetics program. We have a neurodietitian who runs a ketogenic diet program and any exclusion diets that parents may be interested in for the leukodystrophies. And then Helena, I mentioned yesterday, was our clinical research coordinator. She's since moved on to medical school. And Carrie Gao, who will be introduced to the group, is our new clinical research coordinator. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Mallack. Mallack, is that right? Mallack.
Got it. Mallack. Yep.
Mallack. Okay. I said it wrong for so long, so I feel proud that I'm learning.
It's quite all right. At some point, you'll like me as Mallack, and I'll take it.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Last on my list is Dr. Stephanie Keller from Children's Hospital of Atlanta.
Hello, can you see me or hear me? Okay. So I'll see if I got a couple of short ones, if it's gonna let me do it. No, I don't think it's gonna let me share my screen, but that's okay. So just to tell you guys briefly, so Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, we have 3 hospitals in Atlanta that make up Children's Healthcare. There's Eggleston, Scottish Rite, and Hughes Spalding. And then we have our outpatient clinic center, a big, pretty new building that we built. I was going to show you a picture, but that's about 8 stories tall. Very nice that they just built for us, called the Center for Advanced Pediatrics. And we are building a new hospital, should be open by 2025. And so we are part of, so it's Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and we're also part of Emory University. Our leukodystrophy center here started in 2016. I'm the neurologist for that. I'm the only one, but we also have multidisciplinary. So there's 2 rehab doctors, Dr. Bonkowsky and Dr. Kulkarni, that alternate months helping me with the clinic. Our clinic is a full day once a month, and then I see some other patients intermittently throughout the month without the full team. We also have a genetic counselor, Rachel Logan. We have a physical therapist, Tati Ritchie, who's with us as well. And then we have our clinic coordinator, Selena, who's on the line somewhere. So I'll give you a little wave. Helping us out. And then we also have one of our endocrinologists has taken an interest in our children with ALD. So we have Dr. Leo, one of our neuropsychologists who sees a lot of our patients, Dr. Marcus, and then one of our neuroradiologists who's taken an interest in leukodystrophies and does a lot of our scoring, and that's Dr. Kadam. And then we have a new transplant doctor that started with us last year, Dr. Parikh, who used to work with Dr. Kurtzberg at Duke. So we're very happy to have him. And so for our center, again, we've been around since about 2016. We became an official certified center last year in 2019 with Hunter's Hope. We're also part of GLIA and the Clinical Trials Network. I'm mainly a clinical person, but they're kind of pushing me into the research world. So hopefully we'll start recruiting for the natural history studies for them in the next couple of months. And then we're also maybe going to be a part of the TASAC study. I think maybe the same one that Catie was talking about. We have a website also. It's a big, long website, but if you just Google CHOA and leukodystrophy, you can get to us. And there's an email link there that's just leukodystrophyclinic@choa.org that you can reach me and Selena if patients or physicians want us to see anybody here in Atlanta. I know we're kind of COVID central at the moment, but we won't always be. So if y'all need anything, let me know. Thank you.